This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Friday, September 29th, 2023. We're sliding into the weekend and the end of the September month. So glad you could join us for today's show. In today's episode, I talked with Jaycie Thomsen of the Midwest Row Crop Collaborative about their newest impact report. We also have a check of that ag weather outlook, but first let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Yep, it's Friday, so let's kick it off and get into the weekend, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. At the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, we're talking with Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. Today being a USDA quarterly grain stocks report day. Curt, first off, what do we see from that report?
Well, first of all, we started out with some encouraging news. Mexico bought another additional chunk of corn, over 200,000 metric tons, and that was kind of encouraging. But like you hinted on here, the grain stocks report came in, put shockwaves through the trade there, just no buying enthusiasm. Corn ending stocks 1,361, below the trade estimate of 1,429. This compares to a year ago's ending stocks, 1,377. Of the total stocks, 605 million bushels were stored on farm. That was up 19%. Off-farm storage was 756 million bushels, which was down 13% from last year. Only minor revisions in the 22 corn crop production. Total production was revised down 15 million bushels. They were using 88.6 million acres and 173.4 bean yield. You know, the market traded lower a little bit, but the main selling came from spillover from the the bean and the wheat markets. Soybeans got the bearish surprise. Stocks, the trade estimate was 242, and that compares to 250 ending stocks in September there. But they found 268 million bushels. It was up 7% from September. It was down from last year. The disappearance was about 528 million bushels. That was down from the previous crop year. On-farm stocks, 72 million bushels. Off-farm storage, 196 million bushels. So a lot of these beans were stored off-farm there. The areas found the beans: Missouri 8.5, Minnesota 5.3, North Dakota 2.3. The biggest decreases was in Indiana 7.6, South Dakota 2.5, Iowa down 3.9. On the bean moving parts, the harvested acres were revised down to 86.16. The revision of the yield up just slightly to 49.6 bushels per acre. So the overall picture, just not huge, but just a little bit of a surprise to trade. Just to go to the big bear was the wheat side on the production number. That basically came in higher yield estimates, and that's mainly in the spring wheat areas where a lot of that increase came from. And we heard reports that a lot of this wheat was a little better than expected, so they jumped the yield up from like that 45 point something up to over to 48 bushels per acre. So when you look at the big picture in here, this report's getting dialed in, and we'll continue to move forward here and kind of focus on what type of production and yield estimates we hear as we harvest this new crop, corn and bean crop as a whole. Locally here, yields continue to be highly variable, but better than expected. So there's some pleasant surprise so far, but these bean yields, corn yields are going to be kind of up and down here for a while. It's full moon here today. It's in the quarter, in the month, so hopefully we've got it out of the way. The only thing we got to look towards Sunday, see if the government kind of holds together here or shuts down due to their budgetary debate back and forth. On the charts, kind of ugly, man. They kind of wiped out some possibilities here. Corn finished a 0.5 cent lower on the week. When you look at the big picture, technically on corn, is still trying to record a little bit of a low in here. It did hold in there and close higher on the monthly chart. It's going to be key support just underneath the market on corn. The technical people looking at the bean chart, we were in a position to close higher on the week, but that gave way. Beans closed down 21 cents for the week in the November contract. The wheat market, it was hanging in there. It looked like we were going to close higher on the monthly chart, but it actually closed lower from last week by about 38 cents into new lows on the Chicago market there. So this technical wise, just kind of sloppy in through here, not very good. So it's going to take some positive news here next week to get the buyers to return to be aggressive.
And then obviously with the grains being the big story today, the livestock markets, did they react mostly to the grain action, or did they have their own factors pushing that along today?
Yeah, we had the hog and pig report yesterday afternoon after the market closed. It came in about unchanged from the previous year, a little higher than expected. Some of these farrowing intentions were a little on the low side in through there, but just indicates we got plenty of pork supplies around. We'll have plenty of pork burgers here as we go into the month of October here for pork month. And we'll see what happens. The October hogs closed down $1.32 on the week. When you look at the big picture here, it looks like these hogs are caught a lean contract. It is the upper end's 105 and the lower end's about 71. Cattle wise, technically we kind of reversed down in through here. It's still in the sideways pattern in through here, but we did close lower on the week, so we might have a little correction here after we've been consolidating here some higher levels. Fundamentally, not a whole lot's changed in the beef side. We're still looking at tight beef supplies. I feel demand's a little better than what they're letting on. So we'll see how the market reacts here next week. But as a livestock producer, probably look at some feed needs in here, some wide basis levels. I'd be looking at maybe accumulate some inventory here as we go into the mid part of harvest.
Lots of great information today, Curt. For those of our listeners who would like to, and our viewers who would like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
We're Central Illinois here. You can call us at 1-800-779-1515. When you go to agmarket.net and click on the Intel, the partners, they're going to be having a recap of today's report, and they do a lot of good research information on that page there.
Great talking with you as always, Curt, and we look forward to talking with you again for some more great analysis soon.
Very good. Take care.
That again was Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. We'll go ahead and take a look at how those numbers close. That's courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. At the close, December corn down 11 3/4 at 476 3/4. November soybeans down 25.5 at 1275 even. December soybean meal down 10.30 at 381.20. December soybean oil down 108 at 55.83. Chicago wheat down 37 1/4 at 541 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat down 38 3/4 at 708 1/4. Kansas City hard red wheat down 21 1/4 at 663 3/4. December oats down 12 even at 432 1/2. On the Merc, October live cattle down 230 at 184.20. October feeders down 225 at 252.47. October lean hogs down 375 at 80.20. October pork cutout down 337 at 91.30. And October Class 3 milk up 19 cents at 16.90. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. You can find more of our market analysis on our website at iowaagnet.com. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Jaycie Thomsen of the Midwest Row Crop Collaborative. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. The Midwest Row Crop Collaborative recently released its 2022 Impact Report. I had the chance to talk with Jaycie Thomsen. She's the Partnership Manager with the Midwest Row Crop Collaborative about what exactly came from that report. We're here with Jaycie Thomsen. She's the Partnership Manager with the Midwest Row Crop Collaborative. Jaycie, great to have you on. A lot of farmers probably not too familiar with the Midwest Row Crop Collaborative yet. Tell us a little bit about that effort.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Midwest Row Crop Collaborative is a collaborative platform designed to test and demonstrate solutions that encourage the widespread adoption of regenerative, science-based farming practices that benefit benefit the environment. We really use this platform to share learnings from these tested solutions to support their scaled adoption across the supply chain. Our members are at the core of this platform. They are industry-leading companies in the agricultural supply chain and the environmental nonprofits convened that are driven around the same mission, vision, and goals. Our members include PepsiCo, Unilever, Cargill, Kellogg's, Bayer, Nutrien, Walmart, Neste, the Environmental Defense Fund, the World Wildlife Fund, and the Nature Conservancy.
So how was it, kind of able to get started to have those, big name companies working with farmers and kind of coming together towards that goal of sustainable agriculture?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great question. Kind of seemingly, like, it's a space that they kind of seemingly partners that you wouldn't think to see in the same space. But really they came together because they understood that at the heart of the issue really was that farmers and their supply chains were at risk from climate change, and they needed to do something to help farmers really transition into regenerative agriculture, because at the end of the day, their businesses are reliant on a steady supply of commodity crops, and to make sure that farmers were really supported in this transition to regenerative agriculture. So they convened kind of around that same mission, understanding that they also were key players in this space. They have a lot of power, and a lot of they have levers to really to drive this type of change, and so they came together around that shared mission, vision, and values.
And you guys have already seen some good success from that collaborative. Just released your 2022 report. Tell us a little bit on some of the highlights that you saw from that data.
Yeah, absolutely. So MRCC engaged about 2,650 farmers in 2022 across 4 Midwestern states. So we have projects in Iowa, Nebraska, Illinois, and Michigan. We supported the regenerative agriculture practice adoption on over 700,000 acres in the Mississippi River Basin. And our goal is to achieve multiple measurable regenerative outcomes on more than 1 million acres. So those are kind of some of the highlights that were in the 2022 Impact Report.
And of course, like you mentioned earlier, farmers want to adopt those regenerative ag practices, but there is a risk involved from changing over, from their prior practices to new ones. So like you said, having that support and making sure that they're able to comfortably make those changes is obviously a very important thing.
Absolutely. I mean, we really try to talk about like the business case for why both farmers and these companies are taking on this challenge to put more acres into with regenerative agriculture practices. So really our collaborative takes a look at the systems change approach to driving that transformation in row crop agriculture, with the understanding that each member has a prominent role. And yeah, I would say that's kind of like at the heart of the matter, is that we're working on de-risking those practices for farmers. And it's also a risk for these companies as well, changing away from business as usual.
And then thinking of those practices that are involved with the row crop collaborative, obviously cover crops come to mind. What are some of the other practices that you're seeing farmers adopt?
Yeah, we got nutrient management, prairie strips, no-till or conservation till are kind of those primary practices that we're looking at right now. We're hoping to expand our portfolios to learn more about what farmers can do on the edge of field. Thinking about putting in like prairie strips outside the field, or what they can do kind of off of their production land on their broader acreage.
Lots of great information today, Jaycie. Is there anything else about the MRCC that our listeners and viewers should know about today?
Yeah, I mean, I would say on a surface level, this work is really about protecting our environment to ensure healthy water and soil for generations to come, and about ensuring producers, who are the backbone of our nation's food supply, that they can thrive. But really deep down, it's kind of about finding common ground and bridging differences in power, priorities, systems, and perspectives by building relationships. Like we alluded to at the beginning of the interview, these are people that you wouldn't necessarily think to see at the same table. And so the Midwest Row Crop Collaborative is really trying something new, that like we all have a role to play in this transition, and it's really finding what those roles are and how individuals can contribute to a larger whole.
And then for those of our listeners who want to get in touch and learn more and just find some more information about the Midwest Row Crop Collaborative, how can they do that?
They can visit our website. That is midwestrowcrop.org. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can get those handles on our website.
Jaycie, thanks for taking the time to visit with us today, and good luck as you guys continue to spread regenerative ag practices across the Midwest.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
That again was Jaycie Thomsen of the Midwest Row Crop Collaborative. As for right now, let's take a look at that ag weather outlook. The weather has been very fall-like recently, but heading into this weekend, we have some more summer-like temperatures once again, possibly one last breath from that summer season. Temperatures climbing a little bit higher, a little bit drier as well, should be good for harvest progress, especially for those farmers who have been trying to get into the fields, but it's still just a little bit too wet. So let's see what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, today the fog has almost completely moved out of the state to give way to sunny skies. Highs ranging from the upper 70s to low 90s. Tonight there's a slight chance for storms in the northwest, otherwise it will be mostly clear. Lows ranging from about 60 to the low 70s. And tomorrow we have sunny skies and summer-like weather, those highs ranging from the upper 80s to low 90s. Taking a look at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee will be sunny with a high of 89, Shenandoah sunny and 92, Des Moines sunny and 91, Waterloo sunny and 90, Albia sunny and 91, and Clinton will see sunny skies with a high around 88. You can find a more detailed forecast in your part of the state by checking in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate, and you can find that information on the Affiliates tab on our website, iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. You can find our video content as well as previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. So make sure you hit the subscription button and that notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well to find our free Twice Daily Market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. Once again, check out our website under the podcast tab to see a full list of when we post those podcasts. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Dustin Huffman, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.